Hey, hi everyone, how you doing? My name is Bibene. I am a dance artist. I'm also a choreographer from the Republic of Congo in Central Africa. So today I'm making this video to introduce to you the Minkisi Minkondi, which are these sculptures that you can see. I have 6 of them, and these are replicas of the authentic, the original ones that we find today in museums in Europe, in America, or also at the private collectors. So I became fascinated by these sculptures called the Minkisi Minkondi. In plural, we can say Nkisi Minkondi. During a visit in a museum in Paris, I was there on tour with my back then dance company. During a break or after a series of performances, I went to visit the Musée du Quai Branly, and I saw the collection of different artistic, different sculptures. I won't call it artistic because many of these statues were actually sacred elements for the indigenous people of Africa, and also those in the Caribbean and all the places that were colonized. So I found this statue called Nkisi Minkondi, and I became fascinated. So after the first encounter, I basically became just start researching on the statue, wanting to know. I needed to know about where this statue came from, and just which place in the Congo the statue came from, because during my upbringing nobody ever told me about the existence of the statue. So I made it my everything almost, because the statue allowed me to go back in time to revisit the history of the people, for the Congo people, and also of the Kingdom of Congo, which was one of the largest kingdom in Central Africa. And the kingdom comprised of what today is the Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Angola. And the sculptures, as you can see here, were found in the territory of the Kingdom of Congo. So, what is a Nkisi Minkondi? So Nkisi Minkondi is basically a medicine. Nkisi means medicine in the Congo language, and Minkondi means hunt. It's so the literal translation will be Nkisi, so the medicine that hunts. But that's the simplistic way of defining what Nkisi Minkondi is. So, but before I go to the meaning, I would like you to look at this different Nkisi. So this is Minkondi. I would like you to see this one is having as a spear. I want you to see and see just the morphology and the anatomy of the body. And this one, the small ones, has almost like clay on it. It's a little reddish. And we have this one is the Nkisi Kozo. You can see it's a two-headed Nkisi. So one head is the meaning here. One head is looking at this world, and one should be looking at the ancestral realm. So there is a Nkisi that's looking at two realms. So this realm and the ancestral realm, or the invisible realm, which is the realm that we all go when we transition. So otherwise, when we die, it's also the realm we go. So the invisible realm, basically. And we have this guy right here as well. It's a little bit more darker than the other ones. So look at the morphology, the eyes. Let me get it closer to you. From the eyes and the belly, you can tell here, and of course the stand. Another one here, smaller Nkisi. You can see the particularity, the nails all around these Nkisis. What else? And we have the largest of my collections. So I'm gonna come and explain to you what this Nkisi means, what all these nails means. So, and again, one more time, these are replicas. These are not the real authentic. They were never activated. So Nkisi is a medicine. So the medicine that is activated by Nganga. Nganga in the Congo language is basically a doctor, as you can see, as we have in Western medicine. When you get sick, you go see a doctor. So a doctor is the person who has the knowledge, who has been initiated to the cult of the Nkisi, or to the knowledge or the science of working with Nkisi. So the doctor will see a sculptor. So these Nkisis were carved by a sculptor, but when they carved, they come without the nails. The nails come really late, only after. So when do the nails come? So the sculptor's role is to create Nkisi, just a piece of wood without the nails, and also make sure in the abdomen area, the stomach area, where the belly, there is usually a box, because these are replica, these are not authentic ones. The closest one to the original will be this guy here. In the center, at the belly level, there will be a box. This box in the Congo language we call it a kudu. So that's basically where the medicine will go. The medicine will be comprised of different herbs, and sometimes claws, nails, bits of charcoals, and many substantiation leaves found in nature. Sometimes ashes. So a lot of substances, but the substances always depends on the purpose of the patient, or the symptoms of the patient and the disease. So what do I mean by disease? As I said in the beginning, the Nkisi is a medicine. So picture it like this: when you get sick, you go to the hospital, you go see a doctor, and you tell the symptoms, and depending on the symptoms, the doctor will determine what kind of drugs or medicine to prescribe, excuse me. And the Nkisi is the same. So in the Congolese, in the Congo people's communities, when people got sick, or when there was a problem in a community, the people went to see the doctor. So I will take the case of sickness. So when you have a disease, you go see the doctor, and people will go see the Nganga. The Nganga, who is the medicine man. And based on your symptom, the medicine man will know what kind of combinations of leaves or natural items. Sometimes it's the roots of trees or the roots of plants. Sometimes it's also the skin of animals. It could be feathers. It could be pieces of stones. It could be also claws of birds. It could be sometimes just feathers. So it's a different elements that the medicine man, he is the only one who knows the secret to the combinations of these elements of nature, where he's gonna put them together, and after he's collected all these elements, he's going to put the medicine, all this collection, all this combo, this mixture is going to put inside this box here located at the belly level of the statue. That's where the medicine goes. So after it's done putting the medicine here, in some cases the medicine also will go inside the eyes, this glossy eyes, which is made of it's a piece of glass. Sometimes the medicine goes behind the eyes, but mostly it's on this belly level. So after it's done, the medicine man will take a nail. So we call these nails insertions. So it could be a nail or anything sharp that can be inserted in the body of this piece of wood. So the medicine man will take the nail, and he's going to do some incantations. Incantations means he's going to do either chantings, or he's going to be saying some words, which means this word or incantation is basically calling on the spirit of a certain spirit that is in nature, or a spirit that is in other realm. And the spirit that is calling on, which means to reinforce the power of the medicine that was inserted in the stomach, the spirit will inhabit the body of the sculpture in order to activate the sculpture. So the activating of the structure of the sculpture will also activate the medicine, which will bring cure to the patient, to the sick the sick people. And after he's inserted a nail, he will ask the people to leave. So that's basically the cure. But the Nkisi was not just about solving curing diseases. The Nkisi could also act as a lawyer. What do I mean by that? Or the Nganga could also act as a lawyer. So you can tell, I talk about the Nkisi being acting like a lawyer, or the Nganga, the medicine man, acting like a lawyer, because there is this duality that's between the Nkisi and the medicine man, who is a medium between this guy and also the ancestors. The ancestors, when you summon their presence, they come dwell here, and also they become the respectful, they become a huge entity or element that the Nganga, the medicine man, will pay respect to. So basically, the medicine man is in the service of the ancestors, of the spirits, via these sculptures, which called Nkisi Minkondi. Okay, so when he acts like a lawyer, which means in a case where two people are entering business contracts, like we do in our modern world, you go see a lawyer who will be the witness to when you're signing your contract, or when you determine the terms of your contract. In that case, the people you go see the Nganga, you determine the terms of your contract as you're entering into business. Whatever you guys decide, if you decided anyone will break the rules or the terms of the contract, what's going to happen to the person? Would the person get sick, or would the person, whatever is going to happen to the person, you determine. The Nganga only going to listen to you, and is going to take based on the quality of the model of your business. He is going just to, he has the knowledge. He's going to take, again, natural substances, going to insert into the belly of the Nkisi right here, and he's going to take another nail, is going to insert into the body of the sculpture. Okay, and then he's going to ask you to go. And of course, before inserting, he's going to do his incantations in the Congolese language, or in any, it could be in Congo or any other language that we found in Central Africa. And after that, it will ask you to go. So that's the term of the contract. So whoever's gonna break the terms of the contract, whatever the people decided, that is what is going to happen to you. And that could be bankruptcy, for instance. Okay, it's not just or not always about disease or death. And the Nkisi can vary in size. As you can see, I have different sizes. Like the Nkisi, the little one is pretty small, and this guy is bigger than the other ones I have, and this is even bigger. But they vary in size. They could be this tall, like a few inches tall, to 5 feet tall. I saw in the Metropolitan Museum in New York, they have some of the biggest Nkisis, Minkisi Minkondi we could find. So the bigger ones were created, or they were made to solve bigger problems as well, like community problem. When we have there is a drought in the community, it's not raining, there is or an attack, there is another ethnic group is back in the day, different ethnic groups or different kingdoms will enter into fighting. So to prepare for a war, in order to win, sometimes they will call on the different kisses. It could be the larger ones or a combination of different kisses. Remember, I said the medicine man here, the Nganga, is also a specialist. In our modern time, we have different kind of doctors. If you see a Nganga as a doctor, in our modern time, the doctor, we have neurosurgeons, we have pediatricians, we have nurses. So in this medical arena, we have every doctor has their own specialty. There's those who work on joint, those who work on heart disease, those who work on lungs. So the Nganga were the same. So not each Nganga was able to work on solve any problem. So they have to be, for each disease, for each communal problem, you have to see a specific medicine man. So it works just like we do it today in our modern days, and for centuries the people of Congo in Central Africa used basically used this Minkisi Minkondi as the base as a base into keeping the social balance. So keeping social balance and keeping justice. So I told you in the beginning, Nkisi means medicine, and Nkonzi means to hunt. So when I talk about justice, this Minkisi could have two different powers: negative powers and positive powers. The negative powers comes when they are activated and asked to go punish. So when it came to punish, they could come either cause disease. At the same time, they could solve diseases. At the same time, also they could also cause diseases. So they can cure you, but they can also make you sick depending on what they have been asked to do, and depending on what you've done in the community. So if you were a robber, you robbed something in the community, then Nkisi can come for you to punish you. So that's become social justice, punishment, also kept the balance in the society. These Minkisi were also the keepers of the societal moral codes. People knew there was no anything. If you did something wrong in the community, someone may the spirit of the Nkisi or the spirit of justice may come find you and punish you. So this is a practice that's dead today. I would say dead or lost. Maybe not lost. It's yeah, I would say lost because many Ngangas in the Congo, pretty much the practice of the Minkisi is non-existent. People don't know. Even I was asking my parents, I was asking people around if they knew about the sculptures or the functions of the sculptures. Nobody really knew, at least some where I found these sculptures. But as I can say, these are replicas. They're not quite right. Like this one here has this guy has in his stomach has like a curry, but usually it should not be a curry, it should be a box. It should not be this kind of curry. This is not quite right. And I saw this one here on the head, the placement of the insertion on the head here is not quite right. So there are some, this guy here, instead of having a box at the belly, this guy has almost like a big belly, but this is not a box inside at the belly. It's like a real belly, a little bumpy belly they gave him, but it's not, it's really a replica, but it's a false replica. It was not right. So but I'm using this just to explain to you and show the people, show my students as I'm carrying the history, I mean teaching or sharing the history of the Minkisi, the history of the Congo people. So what else is to share about this Minkisi? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the job here, one of the reasons I'm sharing, it's really to spread the word, because the Congo, as many countries in Africa, we face colonizations, and one of the purpose of colonization is to strip you from your culture. So you won't know your culture, it replaces your languages, it replaces pretty much your educational system, because people would views, especially when you come from a Christian family, a lot of people view these sculptures as demonic and satanic. And matter of fact, one of the first things that the Europeans did, the Portuguese who invaded Angola, and the French and the Belgium, one of the things, first thing they did was to kill the medicine men, was to kill the Ngangas, because they had all this knowledge and power. So it was to kill them and take all this Minkisi burned. So thousands of these sculptures were burnt, and also thousands were taken away and became art in museums in Europe, art in museums in America, and also private collectors. They view these sculptures as art, but for the people, this is not art. This used to be sacred sculptures that help people stay healthy and live in perfect balance with the nature, and also with themselves, and also themselves being part of the nature and environment, of course. So yeah, I believe that's what I wanted to share with you. Please, I'm gonna leave my email. Please ask me more questions. I haven't talked about the Congo cosmogony and also the Congo cosmogram, which basically this cosmogram we call the Dikenga Dia Congo, that define the evolutions, the cycle of life, and where this Minkisi intervene as bodies. These are static bodies, but once activated, they're not static bodies, they're moving bodies. As the same, it's unfortunate because I think stopping the practice of Nkisi is preventing many countries in Africa to really find a cure for themselves for many diseases, because we are relying too much on the Western medicine, and the lost knowledge of how to treat yourself is pretty much not everything's gone, because there are still lots of practices there as voodoo still existing, or the cult of the Nzobi in the Congo still is there, and so many other different medicinal practices that still exist today. But remember, I am speaking English. English is not my first language, but many of these names that to explain the functions of the sculptures are in the Congo language or any language, and sometimes it is difficult to translate one language into another language because each word means a lot. There is context and content in a word. So I am doing my best to use the English language to explain this, talk about this Minkisi. So remember also, there was a time when China was colonized, acupuncture was banned, and if the Chinese people did not resist, we would not have known acupuncture today. But today, nowadays, everybody's doing acupuncture. It's kind of everywhere in Europe. The next when you take a needle, a Chinese or Asian person who has the knowledge of acupuncture, when they take a needle, they'll insert a needle in a certain nerve. It's going to heal a certain part of the body. And I see it, I'm talking about it as an analogy to what this Minkisi are. It's the processes of insertions and activation that will bring cure and balance into the community, into the lives of the people. So it's the same, but these are not in practice and acupuncture in practice. But I just think these are alternative medicine, alternative way of being, of bringing solutions into the wrongdoings in our societies. There are other ways, and I think if we start looking at them or trying to recover these ways, it could just do good to us and in our societies. I'm hoping one day many of the sculptures will be get restituted to the people, bring them back to Africa, or back to the places that they were taken from. So there are the sculptures. There are also lots of masks and costumes that were sacred. That the people from where these items, these spiritual and very important entities came from. Sometimes the people don't know about the existence, about the history, and how they can even relate to it. So recovering the history is very important. So thanks for listening to me. I'm gonna leave my email. Email me if you have some questions. And also I have created a dance piece out of this story of the Minkisi. So I may share a link with you. Just ask me questions, and I'm gonna come around, just zoom on this Minkisi so you can view them. Okay, thank you for listening to me. I was just really excited to share this with you. Okay, now it's time to look at them closely. Okay, let's look at these guys. So yes, this is the Nkisi Kozo right here. You can see, oh, look at those teeth, and look at the sharpness. Nice. And this guy, you can see, is a little different. You can see the facial expression. You can look at the eyes. There is a glossy, yes, a glossy glass there. This guy has some cloth on it. And another guy, this guy had in his face, like I think it's covered with clay all over. Look at these nails. You see the core in the stomach. This is not supposed to be there because I told you it's a replica. That's how they have bases, and you can find them in Congo on the tourist market. Really, it's really made for foreigners and Europeans and those who are interested in African arts. But again, these are not real. They've never been activated. And also, this has like really. This guy has perfect symmetry on the nails, which is kind of wrong, and the insertion on the head doesn't make quite sense, but it's a replica. And this guy with the shape of the head looks like he's wearing a hat. It looks like a West African man, and again, just a replica. And I lost the spear for this guy here. And this is the closest. This is also kind of closest to the authentic one. Yes. So yeah, this is all the Minkisi we have here. You can Google them, Minkisi Minkondi.